Welcome back. It's been a while since I've done a video. I just can't get off of doing the stock market thing. It's taking up so much of my time, but that's what I usually do when I park at night is I get busy doing my stocks instead of doing the videos. A lot of things have changed. You probably saw the title to this video and wondering what's going on. Thought I wanted to, I think I'm going to do this video just to talk about what's going on with me and this company and, give you a heads up. I've been here almost exactly a year. My 1 year anniversary is either it has passed or it's about to come up. And I thought things would get better here, and it seems to be staying the same or getting worse. And I want to explain what I mean by that. It's not getting so bad that I can't handle working here. That's not what I'm saying. Just one instance. I'll give you one instance of what I'm talking about. Right after I started here, this company that I work for is not just a trucking company. This is a manufacturer that I work for, and the trucking company is supposed to deliver their manufactured goods. The way it's supposed to work is we come to work, we hook onto a trailer with their manufactured freight on it, then we deliver that, we get a backhaul, come right back here to Missouri, pick up another one of their manufactured loads, go deliver it, come back, and basically go home. And that was the way it was portrayed to be, when I came to work here. When I applied for the job, that's what was told to me. And it was fairly cut and dry, it's fairly easy job. You load up with a preloaded trailer, go out, deliver it, run, grab a backhaul, come back, rinse and repeat, go home. Well, the load that I've got on right now is a load of bad boys. That's not our product. That's a brokered load. It's not even their contract load. It is brokered load. The crazy thing about it is this load goes to Michigan. My reload picks up in Chicago. 5 hours away. But it comes right back here. The other crazy thing is there's none of our manufactured loads for me to pick up when I get back here. The yard's empty. So they're either going to have to find me a brokered load, or they're going to have to load a trailer, while I'm up doing this turn for me to get back to do another load. And when I first started, it was kind of like this. And they told me it was because it was hot. It was hot in the summertime. The manufacturing facility has no air conditioning in it. So the people were getting really hot, so they were sending them home. And we were short on product. Well, it's not hot right now. It hasn't been. Just in the last couple of weeks, it's gotten warm, up into the 80s, but it's not what you would consider hot yet. I mean, it's coming. And that's what worries me, because we're already short on loads before the hot season gets here. And when the hot season gets here, I feel like we're going to really get short on loads. And that worries me. That worries me. So I've been doing a little searching, and I've been doing a little looking around, trying to see what is available to see if there's anything better. Now, I'm not saying this job is about to shut down. I'm not saying that this job totally sucks. I'm not saying that they're on the brink of bankruptcy. I'm just looking to see if there's anything that, one, is more stable home time for me, two, is more stable period for me, and three, that pays better, that has something in it that will help me out, that is better than this. And I think, and I say this loosely, I think I may have found it. But I want to say that loosely because there's some stuff about the other company that worries me right from the get-go as well. So my wife and I do this thing when we're in this situation. We do this thing, and it is a pros and cons list. We list out, sometimes we'll even do it on a piece of paper. Sometimes it's just a discussion. Sometimes we'll actually list it out on a piece of paper. She and I have not done this on this discussion here. So I'll walk you through it like she and I would walk through it. What is the pros about this company here? Well, the pros is they pay fairly well. I've never had issues with the payroll. In fact, they pay me more a lot of times than what I'm actually doing for work. So they try to level the paycheck out to where I'm very close to the same amount of money each week, which that's been getting a little off here lately. It's been within like this $500 to $700 swing, on pay each week. It's not a consistent paycheck. It's swinging. Sometimes really high, sometimes really low, but it's got this $500 to $700 swing in it. The other thing is my home time has been scattered. We'll say it that way. It's been scattered. Sometimes I get home Friday morning and I'll leave out Saturday night. Case in point, right now, this is Saturday night. So I'm leaving out and I've got to run all day Sunday to get up to Michigan where I'm going to. It's about a 10, 11 hour drive up there. Sometimes I will get in Friday night, like really late Friday night. They still expect me to leave out Sunday night. I just barely squeak in a 34-hour break. It's like I'm always in a rush here. Rush to get home, rush to go out, rush to get a 34, just hurry, rush. And then I have this swing in my paycheck as well. And that goes towards this instability thing that I'm talking about here. There's an instability issue that bothers me. The other thing that has been stable ever since I have been here is I have to drive an hour and a half to work and an hour and a half back. Well, this week, actually last week, my truck broke down in Wisconsin. This is a Volvo truck that I'm in now. And it's what I call a rental. They call it a sub truck. But it's not my normal truck that I'm in. This is a loaner truck. My truck is actually sitting right over there, and that's a story all in itself. But I broke down in Wisconsin, and they hooked it onto a tow truck towed it to Rockford, Illinois. That's where I picked up this sub truck here, is in Rockford. I went ahead and delivered, my freight with this truck. And they were like, take your weekend. Go ahead and take your weekend, which I did. And there's a guy driving through the parking lot. I guess he's one of our drivers. I don't know if he's going to come over here and want to talk. Usually truck drivers do. So I may have to cut this video and put 2 parts in here. But got back to Rockford, got in this truck, went and delivered. This truck just had issues on top of issues on top of issues. The front end's out of alignment. The front tires are out of balance. Every light on the dash is on. I put the clip up here of, what was going on with my truck. It just completely shut down. This truck, major issues too. That's another problem that I'm having here is truck maintenance. They seem to be overwhelmed with all of the problems of these trucks. I wrote this truck up twice. The sub truck. I have written it up twice. Actually, the first time was a physical write-up. I wrote it up, turned it in. The second time I did it was a verbal write-up with the manager here. Oh yeah, we'll get it fixed. We'll take care of it. All they did was put the E-log out of my other truck in this truck and said, you're good to go. All the lights are still on the dash. That's frustrating to me. That's extremely frustrating. And I even told him what I thought was the problem with this truck, of why all the lights are on. Still didn't fix it. My truck that I'm normally in has been broke down 3 times for the same issue. They finally figured out, the problem with my truck was the fuel pump. And it scattered and shattered. It exploded and shot pieces of fuel pump all through the fuel lines and the fuel tank and everything. And, it's just foobarred. So they're going to have to put a whole new fuel system on the truck. That's irritating. That's frustrating. So I've been in and out of sub trucks. I've been in and out of the shop. I keep breaking down. And it's not, something that I have personally done. And I've been trying to counteract it by telling them and writing stuff up that is wrong. This week here, I'm probably not even going to gross $1,000 this week. And none of it's my fault. It's not my fault. It's because of the crap trucks and the low maintenance and the maintenance issues and stuff. So I have to suffer because, they're not listening to what I'm saying that needs to get repaired on the trucks, or they're overwhelmed and they got too much going on to fix what's wrong with the trucks. So it's frustrating, and I have to pay for that. It seems that, I'm grabbing the short end of the stick, as they call it, which they do have breakdown pay here, and I was paid for breakdown pay, but it doesn't compensate for the miles that I could have drove if my truck would have been up and running, which goes back to the thing about, well, they don't have loads and, it's getting slow. So that's worrisome too. It kind of sounds like I'm crapping all over this company, but overall they're trying to do the best they can with what they have to work with, I think is the way that I want to look at it. They're fairly new trucks and they shouldn't be breaking down the way they are. This truck here has got 364,000 miles on it. It's 1 year newer than the truck I normally drive, and this thing has got a slew of problems. My truck has only got 411,000 miles, something like that. It shouldn't be having the problems that it does. But, the other thing, driving back and forth to work for this job is in Missouri. I live in Arkansas. I have to drive an hour and a half up here, an hour and a half back to get back home. The other thing is they won't allow the trucks to go home. They won't allow me to drive the truck to my house on the weekend, even if the route that I'm on goes through my house. That's frustrating because, like if I was picking up in Illinois, or I was emptying in Illinois, I picked up in Illinois, and I was coming through to deliver to Arkansas, I would have to come here, drop the truck and trailer off. I would have to get fuel and DEF here at our terminal, drop the truck and trailer off here, get everything out of the truck that I don't want in the truck over the weekend, load it up in my pickup, then drive to Arkansas to go home. And then Sunday, when I go to leave out, more than likely it's Sunday, I have to do the reverse. I have to load everything up in my pickup, drive up here to Missouri, unload my pickup, load up into here, and then get in my truck and drive right beside of my house, to go deliver the load. And that makes no sense to me whatsoever. It never has since I've worked here. And I brought it up to them, and they're just like robots. We leave the trucks at the terminal on the weekends. That's the way it does. It's the way it works. So, this job would be good if I lived here. If I lived in Missouri and I lived here, this would be really actually an awesome job. If I lived here, but I don't. And I can't really blame them for it because I'm the one that chose the job, and I live in Arkansas. And every time I say something to one of these truck drivers and I say I live in Arkansas, they're like, well, why do you work here? They all say the same thing. Well, you drive back and forth? There's one older guy that works here. He's probably in his 70s. He's worked here, I think he said 5 years. And he just looked at me one day whenever I said I was from Arkansas, and he was like, and you drive that new pickup from Arkansas up here to come to work, and then you have to drive back home to go home. I wouldn't do it. That was just plain what he said. I wouldn't do it. And I said, well, there's no job in Arkansas around where I live at anyway. There's no job in Arkansas that works out like this one. There used to be, but now they're all out of business. All those companies that used to get you home on a regular schedule or get you home on weekends and that pay good. I guess the closest one to me and the closest company situation to this that I could find close to me would be Stallion down in Beebe, Arkansas, Searcy, Arkansas. I'm sure people have seen those trucks out on the road. They've got Stallion in huge letters on the side of their trailer with a decal of a horse, and they've got yellow Peterbilts and Kenworths, I think is what they run. Maybe all Peterbilts. But everything I've been told by everybody, including my own experience of going down to Stallion and looking and talking to them, that is an awful company to work for. From everything I've heard about people talking about it, they say it is horrible to work for them. And I didn't have a good experience when I went and talked to them. I mean, that's been years ago. It was probably 7, 8 years ago when I went to talk to them, and I didn't really like what they had to say myself. So, that's about the only other one. Everybody else, they want you to stay out 3, 5 weeks out on the road, at least 3, if not more, with very little home time, just turn and burn, and they want you to live in the truck, and I'm not about that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be, over the road driver giving up my entire life to live in a truck. I don't want to do that. I want to be somewhere like what we called it back in the day at MS Carriers was regional or super regional. That's what we called it back in the day over there, to where you stayed around close, and you got, quite a bit of home time. And that's what I'm looking for. It's not about maximizing my pay and getting the biggest paycheck that I could possibly get from a trucking company. I want a balance between home time and pay and, stabilization and all this. But I guess it's because of the world that we live in right now. Everything's shutting down and changing and altering and everything, that we're having trouble with all of this stability issue stuff. And it worries me because this is a manufacturer that I work for, and we know what the tariffs are doing and stuff. So it kind of worries me on that end. Now, can I stay here? Absolutely. And for the time being, I'm going to, until I get more sure about this other company. Well, let me just give you the highlights of this other company to show you what I'm talking about that makes me interested more in it. The first thing is they're out of Waterloo, Iowa. And you go, wow, that's crazy. Well, the thing is, they're out of Waterloo, Iowa, but they've got customers in Arkansas. And I talked to the owner of the company, and he is not a manufacturer. He's just a trucking company owner. He runs 10 trucks, a total of 10. This company here has about 25-ish, something like that. He's a smaller company, like half the size of this company, a little less than half the size of this company. And he said basically all he does is run Arkansas, Iowa, Arkansas. Basically, that's all he does. And he said now he does have a customer in Georgia, and he has a customer, I think he said, in Ohio. But the rest of the freight, he said he doesn't run real far off west. He doesn't run really deep down southeast. He never goes to the northeast. He's like, I just stay around, this area here. It's about 10 hours from Arkansas to Iowa. I would have to find a way to get up there to pick up the truck. The other thing is, I take that truck home. He said, wherever you're at, we route you home for the weekend. And I said, that's not an issue getting to Arkansas on the weekend. No, I have a lot of loads that go down there. I've got customer base down there, so you just go deliver your load and go home. We'll get you something Monday coming back out. Or, get you reloaded and have you running out Sunday night. And I was like, cool. That sounds good if he's telling the truth, which I don't really see any reason for him to lie about it, because that would come out, first or second trip out, right? The other thing is he seemed like a really down-to-earth person where you can actually talk to the owner of the company. I have no idea who the owner of this company is, because it's not just a trucking company, it's the manufacturer. So is a corporation, and I have no idea who that person is, who the CEO is. I don't know. I couldn't talk to him if I wanted to, probably. So there's a big thing there. The other thing is there's only two women in the office here, and a lot of times I don't agree with what they do and how they've dispatched and stuff, and I've brought it up to them, and nothing really changes. With this guy, I think, you'd have a direct line of somebody to actually talk to. So that's kind of the long and the short of it. That's kind of why I'm thinking about that. And a little more stabilization. Also, he's at a flat rate of pay. He doesn't do mileage pay or percentage or anything. He's just flat rate of pay. You get the same pay every week. And he even brought it up. I'm so stable, and I've done this for 5 years, that I know what each driver is going to do before the end of the week. So I just got to where I just started paying everybody the same rate of pay. They're happy with it. I'm happy with it. Works for everybody. It's easy. Just write everybody out the same amount of check every week, and there you go. Which I like that. That sounds good to me. And I don't know. I'm going to learn more about it. I'm going to learn more about him. I'm going to try to dig a little bit deeper into it to find out a little bit more going on. And, if it still holds up, if this place starts getting a little more unstable and stuff, I may make the move. I may make the move anyway, regardless. Because I like just the fact of being able to take the truck home and be home on the weekends. I like that. So we'll see. Maybe changing jobs. I don't know. It's kind of a wild thing, So many people are having so many issues with jobs and with everything that you would think that somebody's just happy to have a job, which I am. I am grateful and happy to have a job, but I'm always looking for something better. And if I can better myself, why not? So that's kind of where I'm at with it, and we'll see how it goes. And I'll keep you guys updated. If it is better and I feel like it's better in my heart, then I think I probably need to change and to do that. Compare the pros and cons and see how it works out. And my wife is just like, I trust you and I think you make good decisions for the most part. So do what you feel like is best. And she's sitting on the fence too, because overall this is a fairly good job too. And I don't want to leave here and, have them mad at me, because, who knows, I might want to come back if things doesn't work out. But it's just the way I've always been in my life. I'm not a complacent type person. If I feel like I can better myself or put myself in a better position, why not? Why not go for something to better yourself? I don't see the point of why you wouldn't want to do that. That's all I've got for now. I appreciate you guys watching. If you think I'm making a dumb decision, you can put it down in the comments. If you think I should stay here, put it in the comments. Write it out. See if it gets better. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.